SGC here, and we are finally back with a movie review. Kingsman. Directed by Matthew Vaughn, this is based on the comic The Secret Service by Mark Millar and Dave Gibbons. It stars Colin Firth, Samuel L. Jackson, Mark Strong, and newcomer Taron Egerton. So what's it about? Well, basically, it's about a dude being roped into this whole Kingsman Secret Service super classy spy network, and he gets trained and he helps out. And that's pretty much the entire movie. So what did I think? Well, first off, this is super classy. It goes back to the era of crazy gadgets and just crazy classiness with the whole suits and stuff. I'm not a very classy guy, but I did shave for this review, so class. But anyway, I really did enjoy the whole fun of this entire film. I mean, as great as Bond films nowadays are, it's too dark and gritty and realistic and just a lot of fisticuffs rather than like, let me zap you with my explosive bomb or whatever you. But that stuff was fun. Colin Firth played a awesome, classy mentor to newcomer Egerton, and Egerton really held it well. Being a new name around, he held his ground, played his strengths, and it was a relatable sort of like, hey, I'm changing my life sort of character. Mark Strong here plays an assistant, and I feel that he plays his character in an imitation game as well, where he's super quiet and to the rules, but he can give out some dry jokes. Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. He's amazing in this one, and it was just fun just to have the change up to the comic counterpart to what they brought up to the screen. Sophie Cookson playing Samuel L. Jackson's henchman was great as well. She was hot. Her confidence with her being a henchman, really taking care of him, she knew what to do. No need for super like sexualized, but she was just hot as in being a strong type of woman. Sure, you can argue that, but I really enjoyed her character as every time she entered the scene, it was like, whoa, careful, careful. So basically, all around the theme, the atmosphere, the vibe of this film was just fun. Now, in terms of the actual plot, it is your typical take over the world villain plot. There are some crazy aesthetics in terms of the hyper-violence, which I really enjoyed because Matthew Vaughn really does it well when balancing the hyper-violence. Like if you've seen the trailer, there are some scenes in this church where that violence scene was just crazy. The ending scene is just nuts. Watched it with a friend. I swear you're not supposed to laugh, but he laughed throughout that entire sequence, and I'm just like, dude, you know context here. It was pretty messed up, but it's like visual form, it's pretty amusing, and I appreciate Matthew Vaughn balancing that out. And I feel his hyperviolence is a give or take. Some people might not like it. Some people might think that it's just not as realistic. But really, when you have a woman on stilts with blades, how realistic do you want your film to be? So overall, this was an enjoyable, fun ride. And the story could have been more. I think in terms of just the characterization with the other recruits, it was just a tad pacing issues with the whole training as well, because you don't really dwell too much on their characters, but they exist and they show up and they don't really matter. And the whole girl sort of like, there wasn't anything there, but I'm glad there wasn't anything there, but it just feels like, what are you trying to do? But overall, this film was fun. That's the biggest thing for me. It was fun, it was enjoyable, and I'm actually surprised that they pushed it back, because it was originally supposed to go to theaters a lot earlier, but I mean, it's finally in theaters and we can watch it, and it was just fun, and you definitely should watch it. If you are a fan of Matthew Vaughn, totally go watch it. If you're a fan of Millar's comics and the movie adaptations, go check it out as well. So that's it for this movie review. If you have seen Kingsman: The Secret Service, leave your comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that's it for this review for Kingsman: Secret Service. Out!